Michael Carrick, I'm sure, would like to keep him. I'm looking forward to hear what Michael Carrick potentially says about him after the friendly tonight.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, right. We want to move on because we spoke a little while ago, didn't we, to Daniel Kahn about Miles Lewis-Skelly as well. Let's just talk about Arsenal first. I want to stay with you, Michael, because can they afford to let him go?
Well, in terms of squad depth, yes, probably. Look, if he did start in the Champions League final a few months ago, and it would be interesting to see whether he would like to have a new opportunity. He's been at Arsenal since he was 8 years of age. But we've looked at Manchester United, we've looked at Liverpool about the squad depth. I look at that and I look now and I think Arsenal, of all the top clubs, they are probably the most ready if the season kicked off tomorrow. I mean, you look at Bruno Guimaraes there alongside Declan Rice. That for me is formidable. Absolutely formidable. I don't know what you think about, but in terms of that midfield, and then you've got Martin Odegaard, Eberechi Eze, Max Dowman. What a big season it's going to be for him. Saka Madueke, that's sorted. The left-hand side, I mean, look, they're looking at maybe getting another forward around that side as well, maybe a left-sided forward. They look well stocked in defence. Maybe one more defender because of the injuries they've got. Of course, there was a little linking with Christian Romero to Arsenal the other day. I mean, goodness me, don't get me started on that one. But that looks very well stocked for me.
Again, the numbers, they're an unbelievable spot. I think for Lewis-Skelly, I'll be looking and how am I going to get in that team? 19 years old. I think he'll want to be playing more this year. But again, it's his club. Will he back himself to get into the team eventually? No doubt. But yeah, I think it's a big season ahead for him. He'll want to play more regular. But for him, it's whether that emotional tie is too strong.
You want, obviously, for someone who may want to sign him, that versatility could be an asset. But you wonder if that's actually been a problem for Arsenal, because is his best position, is that going forward? You know, centre midfield. He's obviously played at left back as well. He is so versatile. What is his best position?
I think the way Arteta was playing when he was rolling kind of fullbacks inside, it suited him.
Coming up through the youth ranks, you'd think want to desperately, try and make a name for himself there for the future, for sure.
Yeah, I think also with the club, you want players like him to come through. It's a story that doesn't happen often from 8 years old to 19, 20 now. You want to keep players that know the club. He's a Premier League winner. Yeah. He's obviously a good guy to have around the place as well, still learning. So for Arsenal as well, I think they'll be keen to keep hold of him. It's just whether or not they can get him in the team.
I mean, if he would have a conversation with Mikel Arteta, obviously one thing we need to look at as well is obviously in terms of PSR terms, it's pure profit, a homegrown lad. So that's one thing to look at as well. But also for him as well, he did break into the England squad last season as well. And sometimes it's great to be good at many positions, but I do worry sometimes with players. I don't know how you feel about this, it's nice to be able to have that versatility, but I like having nailed down as one position. Great if you can play somewhere if you've got a few injuries. Yeah. But necessarily, I'd like a player to be right. That's where I want him to be.
Yeah, I think so. Obviously, I was fortunate I couldn't play another position, so centre half was that for me. But yeah, you don't want to be one game playing left back, one game playing centre midfield, and you want to have that consistency. You want to play yourself into form in one position and nail that down. And I think for him, he's got to try and work out what he wants now, where he wants to be, and kind of when you go with that decision, you're going to have to deal with being out of the team sometimes and fighting, because the squad, as we've seen, is extremely strong.
Yeah, good point. Right. Jed Spence became one of the unlikely stars of England's World Cup campaign, didn't he, this summer after his performances in the knockout rounds? But his future actually may be away from Tottenham Hotspur and potentially abroad. So look, what is the latest here, Michael?
Well, Tottenham Hotspur and Inter Milan are due to hold further talks over Jed Spence over the phone today, according to Sky in Italy. This is following positive discussions on Tuesday. Inter believe a package of around 30 million could be enough to get a deal done. Spurs understood to be willing to sell if they receive an acceptable offer. Spence's opportunities, I mean, look, they could be limited at Spurs. this season with Pedro Porro, clear first choice right back. They've got Destiny Udogie, Andy Robertson, Ben Davis, and the Brazilian youngster Souza could all play at left back. I must add that Archie Gray can probably play at right back too. We talk about another player who's very versatile at Tottenham. Archie Gray certainly fits that bracket. This is a really interesting one, and it's one that's raised eyebrows, especially with Spurs supporters, more about the fee than anything. And of course, Jed Spence will be coming back to Tottenham training. So, look, I've had a great World Cup.
You played with him, didn't you, in Nottingham Forest as well? What do you make of this possible move for him?
Yeah, I don't see Jed wanting to be an understudy. I think he'll again want to kind of be the main man in the position where he wants to play. So a move would make sense if he wasn't guaranteed to play. You know, no one's ever guaranteed, but he'll want to be the main fullback in the team. He's an extremely good player. It's very attacking, strong character. So he'll back himself to start in any team, but I would have thought he would have wanted them reassurances as well.
A similar question we asked about, Lewis Skelly. Can they afford to let him go from Arsenal? The same with him, really. Can Spurs afford to let him go in terms of, again, their squad? Yeah,
well, this is the stats from the Premier League last season. I mean, look, it was a season to forget for Tottenham Hotspur in the Premier League. People forget. They only just survived. It's unbelievable to think. But 30 games played. Pedro Porro played 4 more games. Destiny Udogie. This is probably the worry for Spurs supporters. If Jed Spence were to depart, Destiny Udogie has had a number of injury issues. Andy Robertson, I've got Liverpool supporters telling me they'd like to have kept him for another season. I think he'll bring a lot of leadership as well, Andy Robertson. So I think this is a very positive signing for Spurs. Tackles, interceptions, clearances, duels won. I mean, look, Jed Spence has done pretty well for Spurs, but he's had some good loan spells. He's been in Italy before. He had a loan spell at Genoa, so he knows the league and he'll know the culture a bit more. It's just interesting. I think another key for this is that Spurs aren't in Europe this season. So you are going to play really 1 game a week, apart from your cup matches. And as I say, Pedro Porro, touch wood, there's not much wood around here, but he doesn't play, he doesn't get injured too much, Pedro Porro. So that's why I might be thinking Spurs might just do a deal, but there are still some questions thinking he's just turned 26. He's come off the back of a very good World Cup. He's also homegrown. So it's very much an interesting one, this.
Yeah, would you, if you were Roberto De Zerbi, Steve, want to lose him?
Again, yeah, you wouldn't want to lose him because, again, he can cover right side, left side. He can play on the wing if needed. Again, he knows the league. He's off the back of a really good summer. He'll be really confident. Yeah. Good to have around the dressing room as well. But these sort of players, they don't want to be on the bench. They want to be playing. And as Bridgie said, there isn't European football.
Also, I must say, right, so when Roberto De Zerbi was given the job, it was looking bleak, all right? I mean, you had every championship club singing Tottenham away, ole,